All right, hello everyone. So we've got Wednesday now. Wednesday's a swing day. I've got gold in front of me, so I'm okay to continue with this to the downside because Monday was a swing day. Okay, and on Monday, remember, we were on both sides of the market. Buying the low, selling the high was okay, but that's an impulse. So I want to push it down, and if we come further down, I think that could work out. Okay, now this soft spot here is that level 56. 56 is a price of 3,304, which is pretty much there. All right, and okay, so this could break. If you want to sell here with a tight stop loss, you can. If you want to sell the highs with a tight stop loss, you can. Those highs can be the daily pivot today, or they can be up there. Monday was a swing day. It's done a low, it's done a high. So, both of them worked. And that's how it is now. We're snaking along. So a push down could be the way to go. If it does, you're going to target the weekly in the bigger run, 63, which is 3,151, which we already put there. But now this is on the radar for us, and that's a 48, and that's 3,231. So if we go down, so that's going to be a target, and that's a good fair bit down. That could make us money, so not a bad way to kind of push it down. Okay, if the market breaks below this, then yeah, we should probably push down. Okay, if it breaks below that and then pulls up, you can sell off. If we break down, come up into this hour, let's say the market went down, came into these hours, you can sell off and follow to the closing. Euro dollar. Now the only drama I've got with this is we've got a PST breakout, but the impulse up, down again is, I think, more logical from this zone. So selling is, I think, the better option. This was yesterday. So if we're up somewhere here or up here slightly higher and you want to sell in the European zone, you can. All right. So this zone's already broken. As you can see, I've put a line here. So if we also break below this and then pull up into New York, you can sell off again. If we go all the way down into New York, same with gold as well. If you go all the way, if the market broke and came all the way into this zone in New York, then obviously we're going to look to be bouncing up from here as an intraday kind of trade. Okay, because we still got that 3,150 at the bottom. Same kind of thing with the daily. All right. So be a bit careful here because we've got a PST breakout. So, but on the other hand, selling is the logical way to go on this one as well, since we are at the highs and there are no gaps up here. Now, on SP 500, Thursday is a swing day, so we don't have any swing days here. Monday, I did say, if you want to use Dow Jones, it's optional, okay, but as you can see, it's just hasn't done much. This zone is a sell zone. In any case, we'd like to be selling from the highs here. That is a PST level today on the daily. That's 62. Coming into there is 5,649, okay, and it's up here. So if the market does make a move up and you want to sell tomorrow as well, it's doable from that zone. But Wednesday as a swing day opportunity, we don't have on SP 500. Dow Jones can be one, so it can still sell off, but that's that for you. If it does push down, coming down into 47 would be a target, 5371 on the weekly, 5371. You got to look out for 5423 because that's the good buy kiss there. Okay, so it's a bit of a dilemma because we've got a price breakout on the one hand, but the PST's done target 1. So Thursday, all right, is a swing day, so maybe we'll see how that pans out. Let's take a look at Dow Jones. Now Dow Jones does have a swing day Wednesday. It had on Monday as well, but as you can see, we're still hanging around here, so nothing's really happened. But today is looking like a setup because I like this whole snaking around business. It'll snake, and then, take a dive. So yesterday I did say we could go up because we had a breakout, and that's what the market did. And this is why I was a bit weary about the euro dollar today, because that's a breakout as well, so be careful. Okay, but on the other hand, like I said, it's a swing day, Wednesday, and you can see like we're just snaking along. Okay, so if at 10 past 11 we're up here somewhere, and you want to sell in the London London morning session there, you could do so with caution. Okay, on the weekly you've got a breakout. Okay, and just have to be careful. Okay, because we're in between levels, and I don't like it when we're in between levels. And it's a sandwich zone. It just doesn't look like a great setup. What you can do is this, though. If the market, let's say, broke above the high of yesterday, and we came back into a trading hour, which is only going to be at 8 in the evening. All right, it's on Wednesday, 7:48, which is going to be there. Then, it's possible. Or if you break it down and the market comes up into there, then selling again could be the better way to go. So you're going to have to, if you want to trade it, okay, you don't have to, because I don't think it's a great setup. Okay, but, if you want to trade, taking the 10 past 11 with a tight stop loss is okay, and then obviously you got to wait for this. The news is going to be important. If after the news it finds direction, we should go to that 7:40 to 8 o'clock zone. All right, so at least you know that. Nasdaq, now with Nasdaq as well, the swing days. Today is a swing day for Nasdaq, and that's a Wednesday, which is fine. And selling the highs, I think, is okay. Right, so on Nasdaq we're in this zone, so I think this is like okay to sell off, because that's where the market sold off. And doing that, I think, is all right. Okay, so selling from this zone downwards. If we go up into somewhere, that 58 is going to be staring at you, which is, take a note of it, 19,833. Okay, so if we're up here, if we're at the highs, I think selling is the way to go. All right, this was a zone, we talked about this before. In any case, it's already done it. So selling from these high levels with tight stop losses, I think, is okay for this one. And with the PST, we're already at targets as well. Okay, so that's a bit of a far out target, but currently this is it. Okay, with the news, if it shoots up, obviously don't stand in front of it, because you've got 7:40 to 8 o'clock there. It's going to be a target as an hour, so knowing that is handy. With Bitcoin as well, we had Tuesday and Wednesday, remember? So I did put an arrow there, I think, on Tuesday and for Wednesday. Let's just double check. There we go, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? So here we are. All right, so that's your Tuesday and that's your Wednesday. So selling this zone, I think, is the way to go, obviously with some caution, since we're on a PST zone there. On the weekly, it's like done targets. So we're going to be dependent on the news a little bit. Okay, but you can see the divergence there. There's not a lot of there's a bit of a huge divergence there, so the market is back a little bit. What you can do with this one is, if you do sell, you're in a bit of a sandwich zone. If it breaks out, don't stand in front of it. That breakout level is already done, 72. It's a price of 94,857, but this zone is a sell zone. Okay, if you're going to do anything, do it with a tight stop loss at the trading hours. Okay, it could be also in the evening, so do that, because if it pushes up again, you don't want to stand in front of it. Why? Because that's a sell zone, and if they want to break it, this will just go through if they do that. Okay, so make sure you got your stops on. I'm happy with small losses. I'm not happy with a big loss. So do that. You could also, after the news, wait for a reaction on a smaller time frame, like we've learned in technical analysis. If it does a push down, it'll do a pull up, and then you can sell off at the time at that retracement. So don't rush your trades. If you want to sell at 11:10, wait for it. Do it with a tight stop loss, and that's fine. You can also follow it to there, follow it to there. You've got to be careful on this zone of 67, which has already been done, 94,000 there. Okay, it's already done. Okay, so we should break if they're going to push it down, and then that should like take you into 56, so you can target that 91.735. Okay, which is pretty much there. Okay, so that weekly pivot is going to be where you really target, cover your trades, move stop losses, manage everything there. All right, any questions, dramas, you can always give me a buzz, drop me a line. More than happy to help. Have a good day.